Hey guys, how's it going?
Is this thing on?
We have a really packed panel up here today. We've got, let me just introduce people real quick. We're Telltale Games, and we did Minecraft Story Mode. I'm Laura. I work for Telltale as a communications manager, and this is Molly Maloney. She worked as a designer on Story Mode. This is Eric Stampy. He was a writer, lead writer on the season. This is Kevin Boyle over here, executive producer. And I'm sure that these guys down the end need no introduction. We've got Stampy, StacyPlays, and CaptainSparklez. All right, so we just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea about what it was like working with these guys behind the scenes. They were in episode 6 of Story Mode, the one with the spooky mansion, and what it was like working with Mojang on the season as a whole. Kevin, would you be able to tell us a little bit about that?
So this is loud enough. So I guess some of you have played Story Mode? Yeah? Fantastic. And it's, you know, for a lot of people, and maybe not for this crowd, awesome. A lot of people, maybe excluding this crowd, when they first heard that Telltale Games was working with Mojang on a story mode game, it struck a lot of people as odd because they didn't really see the connection between the storytelling we do at Telltale and Minecraft as a game. But I think, you know, a lot of what we see is people using Minecraft as a platform for doing storytelling of their own. And so we could look at examples like the videos Sparklez was doing, or, you know, folks like Slam-A-Cow, or the role-playing that Stacy does, or, you know, what I previously couldn't tell the difference between whether Stampy was role-playing as Stampy or whether it was just Stampy. But there are a lot of people out there using Minecraft to tell their own stories, and Telltale was really excited about doing something interactive that would let players participate in that storytelling. And as folks from Telltale, I think it was at a GDC, a Game Developers Conference, met people from Mojang, kind of that was a shared excitement on both sides. So it ended up being something we were able to put together pretty quickly and take a run at, and we're pretty happy with the results. You know, for me, I come at it as a fan and as someone who plays Minecraft with my kids, and it was an interesting opportunity to take something that I'm really engaged in personally and turn it into my work and do some storytelling in that format. So I'll get through some of the high-level stuff pretty quickly so we can get on to the episode 6 stuff where we engaged our friends here on my left. But some of the things we really wanted to do is to tell this story, and I should probably start by warning you people there are going to be some spoilers in this conversation, and if even if we were to avoid them, I think they would come up in the Q&A. So apologies for that if you haven't played yet, but it is interactive, so not everything we have to say will necessarily remain static as you play through. But this idea of this group of nobodies, this group of what would effectively be kids in the world of Minecraft, who kind of rise to the occasion as a challenge is put in front of them, and that maybe their heroes, the people they idolized, weren't all they were cracked up to be, and they needed to fill that gap and step up and be the heroes. Or ideas like, you know, the leader of a group of your enemies is actually not so unlike you as the lead character, and taking a twist on some of what you might expect, or even.
And Kevin, let's not forget about the pig. Pigs can be friends too. Reuben.
Oh, the pig. Yes, Reuben. We love Reuben.
Probably my favorite character.
And absolutely. Reuben spelled like the sandwich for comedic purposes. Yes.
Well, I think something that we were really excited about is that I've been playing Minecraft since about 2010 or 2011, and something that's really exciting was so many people play Minecraft in so many different ways, and I was really excited, and the team was really excited about the idea of having these different characters who all represented the different ways that people played Minecraft. Whether it was a character like Olivia or Ellegard, who was really into redstone, whether it was someone like Axel or Magnus that was really into blowing up people's stuff. There were all these different ways that people could play, and it was really exciting to try and find ways to represent all those different play styles in the game with these different characters, because I love the idea of someone being able to sit and point to a character and say, that's like how I play Minecraft. That's what I do in Minecraft. And so it was really fun to get to do that over the course of the season.
It was interesting even identifying those archetypes, because as far as our process goes, one of the first things we did was sit down with people at Telltale who are on the creative side of crafting these stories, and bringing Mojang into the room for a couple of weeks and really kind of hammering out a core story arc for the season with Mojang involved, so that we've got these storytelling tentpoles that the season's going to be built around, that we're all really invested in and really speak to Minecraft. And one of the ways we did that was to key into elements of Minecraft that we could tell a story around that were, if not central ideas of the game, at least things that had come up into the public consciousness about it. Like if you think of a command block as a powerful object that has no business existing in survival mode. I mean, that's kind of the central idea around the first 4 episodes. Or, leaning on Skyblock for the 5th one, or Redstone Computers for the 7th, or esports for the 8th. And I skipped over 6 because that's the one where we really leaned into the whole YouTuber phenomenon and this idea of bringing in this community that has become such a big deal around Minecraft, and pulling them into an episode that's really about their characters, and using an Agatha Christie style murder mystery as the format to do that seemed like a good way to go.
Well, designing on this franchise has been really, really fun, and we draw a lot of our energy from you guys, watching your videos and your excitement, and working on, one of the episodes I was involved with was episode 5, which is the one where they go into the Sky City. And just watching Skyblock videos and being inspired by what everyone was doing, we thought, gosh, what would it be like for people who just lived here, And that's the fun of Minecraft Story Mode, is we take a world that Mojang has made and that's really incredible, and we use it as a stage to have amazing relationships and experiences and meet different amazing types of people. So, that's my favorite thing.
So something I'm curious about in terms of process, we'll do a lot of work on design and writing and have a draft of a script and get into the studio and record with our actors and do revisions based on what we're seeing in the game in the studio, and do re-records of some of the stuff to come up with a final presentation of the game. But what the actors see and are recording in the studio isn't necessarily what's going to end up coming out of the screen and in the final version. So I'm curious with you guys, kind of were there surprises, things you weren't expecting, things that went down in a different way than you had anticipated based on recording sessions and kind of what you guys saw in the script?
I know yours.
Well, for me, it's just a weird script, because most scripts, they have the story and what you say. With this script, it has every option, so already it's kind of a little bit hard to tell exactly what the scene's going to be like. But for me, the big thing is kind of the animations and how that affects things. Like, if you remember in Story Mode 6, when I say goodbye, I say bye, and then I assumed I'd say bye and walk away. They decided to animate it, so I say bye, then I wave my arms above my head, and I run away like this, and it's one of the most hilarious moments. And none of that's from my performance or from the script. That's just kind of the way it's been changed afterwards.
I'll actually have you know that that animation was custom made for your character. It was based on the way that you performed. You had your line when right after, spoilers, right after there's a big death of someone else at the table, you yell panic, 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 and that animation was made for that, and people loved it so much they kept trying to find ways to make your character doing your flailing and running animation. It was pretty fantastic.
And that panic, panic, panic line, that's quoted so much now. That's always sent to me. Just panic, 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 panic. But I really went for it when recording and just screamed it into the mic. How about you guys?
Yeah, for me, spoilers, I'm the one here who died in it. I had no idea how that was going to play out, really, other than it was going to be sand, and I had to make sounds that I was suffocating. And so it was. It's always odd to watch yourself dying from the third person, and I don't think that's an experience too many people get to have, watching their character that they're playing themselves in a video game get killed off. So it's a bit flattering in a sense, but also sad. And I hope I don't go out that way in real life.
You won't be able to see it, so at least.
That one was strategic, by the way. One of the things we wanted to do with this murder mystery is, as soon as these characters are in the house, we want them to know something's amiss. But they really haven't had any time to spend with these characters, so we developed a fake YouTuber by the name of Torque Dog that I think was a misinterpretation of Twerk Dog at some point. But Torque Dog was set up to be an unsavory character who, while you never want to see anybody get put out by a trap, when it happens to Torque Dog, it's really just there to establish that bad things are happening in this place. But then, as we get into Act 2 and it happens to Sparklez, who appears to be this character who's going to be informative and helpful, and man, I'm going to team up with Sparklez and solve this mystery. Oh goodness, no, I'm not. Things have taken a turn.
Yeah, you guys felt really emotionally attached to me, right? Like we were friends, and you were sad. Good, thank you.
Oh, me? What? Is everyone looking at me?
Yeah,
okay.
no, you, Stacy.
Well, I mean, like Stampy said, it was interesting, the process of recording our voices, because there were so many different options that people could play that I really wasn't 100% clear on what exactly was going to happen towards the end. And can I say I recorded a death line? Can I say that?
Oh, yeah,
I recorded a little, like when I got stabbed, like I died, but then I ended up not being able to die, which I was very happy about. But yeah, even playing it, it was really enjoyable because I honestly didn't know exactly how everything was going to play out.
Yeah, so for the interactive scripts, what we basically do is, there's a chronology for the game, and the scripts are formatted so that kind of they go from start to end. But within that, there's all kinds of branching, and the game's content doesn't roll out like a TV show or a movie. It's, the player is obviously taking a path through the game, and so just looking at a script, it can be hard to follow exactly what's going on there.
Well, and I can tell you, as the person whose job it is to make that make sense, even making it is impossible sometimes to follow. It becomes such a rat's nest of conditionals and crazy things. I think it's part of the magic, actually, but I can only imagine reading them a little challenging.
Yeah, and then because I'd be in the voice recording sessions with these guys, and I'd be explaining, okay, so Stacy, now you're angry at Jesse. No, wait, this line, now you're happy with Jesse. Okay, no, this line is after the line where Jesse said she hates you. And so that doesn't happen. No one could hate Stacy. But no.
I was really lucky, though, that I got to go up to where they are in California and have like Eric in the room while I was recording my voice. I don't think anyone else had that.
Yeah, no, you were the only one that got to be in the
I think it was really, really helpful for me.
Yeah, sometimes we'll do Skype, so that, we definitely always want to have a back and forth with the folks who are recording. But yeah, with Stacy, it was good to be able to get you in and get that first-hand context.
Yeah. Actually, another one was funny, even though this wasn't an in-person one, but it was just over Skype. Was actually when we got Stampy, when we got you and Dan together for your joint session. That was a really fun time, letting the two of you kind of bounce off each other in the booth. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was definitely very different because it was me and Dan recording, but I was kind of there first and kind of doing it by myself. And, it's like, I'm not a voice actor. Like, I've never done that before, so it's a little bit awkward. Like, I speak a lot, but I'm never normally being told what to say, so it's a bit different. But then as soon as Dan was there and we were having a conversation and having a back and forth, and I could see how he said something, then I'll kind of like step it up or respond to it. It did just make it completely different.
Well, I think that's one of the things that was a really pleasant surprise in this process, because I think casting voice actors, usually it's a pretty arduous process of listening to a lot of people who are professional actors and vetting them down to the small few, and working with YouTubers. We didn't quite know what to expect, but it worked out really well quickly. It wasn't an arduous or difficult process, and I'm always in the business of kind of looking down the rabbit hole to see how things could go wrong. And as I was getting takes back from the studio, I was like, okay, good. This is good. This is going to be great.
Well, and I think the thing that was so much fun, too, is because we've been seeing from episode 1, like, all these guys, and others that had been doing these playthrough videos of story mode. And what was so much fun about it was then to kind of turn it around and kind of pull them into it. Because I remember we would have tons of times, like, watch it.
Let me tell you, I'm just going to crowd you out. Let me tell you when you work really hard for many, many months on one of these episodes, like the highlight is watching people play them, watching you guys play them, just the laughs and like, oh, will they laugh at this joke that we put in? Or, oh, will they be surprised? Or will this choice be hard? God, I hope it's hard, you know? Things like that. That makes our day. So getting to work with the YouTubers, you guys, it was really special, you know?
YouTubers and fan reactions as well. That stuff tends to get passed around the office, and people really get a kick out of that. And I was particularly impressed. I got to give a shout out to, there was a girl who was dressed as the White Pumpkin in the costume contest. Who's that?
Wait, that was you?
There. That costume was fantastic. Well done.
What's your name? Autumn? You are awesome.
Maya.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I get your name totally wrong?
Autumn.
Okay. You're awesome.
Awesome. Well done.
And
Yeah.
to all of the cosplayers. Like, we've been really enjoying all of the cosplay we've seen while we've been here. It's been really fun, you guys. Really good work.
So I'm curious, playing as someone else interacting with yourself. Is that a weird, like, existential kind of situation?
The whole thing with story mode was weird. Just
Yeah.
the first moment when we walk in and it's like, you know, well, do you want to say this or this or this to Stampy? And it's like, that's just such a bizarre thing. And then, of course, I just was mean to myself, and I accused myself of being the murderer and things as well. I had to have some fun with it.
I
Yeah.
accused you of being the murderer as well, which I feel really badly about because you turned out to be very nice.
I make a good squirmer, to be fair, and I was acting shifty. To be
Yeah,
fair.
you were, absolutely. You did a good job at, like, bringing that into your voice acting, I think.
I'm just naturally shifty. I was just myself.
Okay, fair enough. I just, like, was hard on myself. Like, who's this guy? Nobody's heard of him. Him and his subscribers. No one cares.
Oh yeah, because there's the line, isn't there? Like,
You've never
when
heard
you
of
say
me
who
and
you
my,
are. Yeah.
my 9 million fans? I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was an odd one. We wanted to get across the idea of kind of exposure. You know, the idea that it's weird for this Minecraft character to not know about you, but hopefully put it together in a way that wasn't too
How dare
too
he?
cringeworthy.
How
while
dare
you're-
he not know me?
Exactly.
Well, and I remember Stampy watching your playthrough. I think you took great delight in the fact that there was a choice to say, to just say, I don't know who you are. And did you guys just say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Along those lines.
All right, you're out.
I chose to not know you.
That's
Yeah,
rude.
I think we all chose to not know you.
we all chose to not
Wow.
know Jordan.
I wonder what
some-
would the, I'm trying to
I
remember
just
what the
wanted to see
response
what
would have
the
been if you did.
response was
Okay.
if we didn't, but you're right. I don't know what the response was if we did know him.
Like, did you play through the episodes that you were in differently to the others? Like, because I'm normally half playing to do what I would do and what makes sense, and half trying to do what I just want to see a funny reaction to. Like, did you kind of play like that?
Since I only got to record up to where I died and then I was out, other than my outro, I had no idea what was going on. So I kind of just played through. I made when I incriminated you, that was my best guess. That wasn't even me, like, trying to just make a funny story out of it. I actually thought you were it, and that was sort of how I was legitimately trying to figure out who the murderer was, and I didn't do a good job.
You and 25% of players didn't do a good job.
To be honest, I accused Stampy as well, but that was not because I thought he was the killer. I just really wanted to see you freak out.
That was the same as me.
That's good stuff. So one of the things, a super weird thing for someone to have to do as a part of their job, one of Eric's assignments was to sit down and just watch a ton of YouTube videos so that he could write to the voice of these people as characters. And I'm curious, from your perspective, getting in the studio and having these lines that are supposed to be spoken in your own voice, were there any points at which it was like, well, that's a little odd, or I can take a different approach to this, or because things like referring to zombies as googlies, not a thing that someone would come up with on their own without doing a bit of research, and that's one that's definitely in there. But was there anything that caused you to make changes on the fly or talk about a different take on a thing? Did Eric do his job well enough, is what I'm asking.
I don't know about you guys, but I actually emailed with Eric back and forth while he was writing the script and kind of told him about my character, told him kind of like what biome I think I would be from, or like anything to kind of help him craft it. And so when I got the script, I think it was, you know, for the most part, was pretty fine. And we all kind of had little Easter eggs that we said. Some of them made them in, some didn't, but I don't think there's anything for me that was like, I remember the second time I got the script, I started coming up like, I was like, wow, I'm sassier now. But I just went with it because I wanted to do it.
I think that for me, when I kind of did the same thing with Eric, so there wasn't any like, Stampy would never do that, you know,
Yeah.
he wouldn't sit in a chair like that way. It was more, there's a kind of just like the over the pond kind of thing, like American and British, the way some things are worded and some certain words, there's a few things like that. I just feel like I probably wouldn't say it like that, so Stampy wouldn't, but it's really kind of minor things, to be honest.
Yeah, I was really impressed when I got the script. I thought it was pretty good. Eric did a good job at sticking within my character. We did go back and forth a little bit beforehand, trying to give some info, which I probably wasn't very helpful at because I'm really terrible at describing myself and I don't really have catchphrases. So I don't know if that helped at all. But I think he did a great job, and there wasn't anything that stood out as I would never say that. I just went with it, and I think it turned out.
It's interesting. Along those same lines, there was a brief period we're looking at this killer who's got this cat and thinking, what if milk toast was...
I wish.
But you know what? It seemed like of all the implausible things we do, setting up Stacy as a murderer seemed like it was just beyond the pale.
Aw.
So that was not one that
Thanks.
stuck. So I'm curious, looking at episode 6 in particular, and having these characters that you all are familiar with, of the people who have played that episode. Is there anybody who does the mean playthrough for entertainment value, who wants to call out these guys as much as you can? Just a few hands? Okay. We're a rare few.
Who did the what?
Mean playthrough.
So we actually have a little time for Q&A as well. If you guys have some questions for us or for the YouTubers. All right, okay, there are a whole bunch of people. All right, that's awesome. Hang on, we're going to send this microphone into the audience, and we're going to come around to as many of you as we can.
Have the slides just been going? Or
Yeah, that's been
Did any of you choose to throw Winslow to Cassie?
I didn't.
I don't think I did, but I only didn't because I was expecting that I would get to keep Winslow. And I really wanted to keep Winslow.
Oh, that's even meaner.
Why is
I'm
that?
taking your cat.
Yeah, well, I mean, she killed people.
I was real mad at her, and I was like, nah, you stay there. You don't get your cat.
Yeah.
Sorry. See you later. And then I walked out.
I wasn't trying to be mean to her. I just want to be mean to Winslow. It's like, it's not Winslow's fault. Like, she's got her
Exactly.
fate. Leave the cat out. Always leave the cat out of it.
So
It's
did
something
you
that I'm very
did you
fond of.
throw him back to her?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Winslow's a free cat.
Yeah.
He can do as he pleases. But the part where it was like, help dig for Cassie or stand with Stacy, remember? It seemed so mean, like stand with Stacy and not dig for Cassie. But she killed people. She killed him. That's all I wanted to
You'll be
say.
waiting
I want a long time to say that.
Actually, Stacy, just as a quick aside, I remember you noticing that because something I noticed in the first 4 episodes of your playthrough was that you had been you were not a Lucas fan. Like you and Lucas never got you never got along with Lucas, and so it's in that first draft of the script. There were a couple of moments where it'd be Lucas would like try and say something to you in the game, and you'd be like, "Get out of here! No, I'm not listening to you. I'm accusing you of murder." And a lot of that did come from the fact that you just, for whatever reason, did not care for Lucas
I
in like
don't
your first
know
4 or 5
why,
episodes.
But yeah, I was never, like in my own playthrough, I never trusted Lucas.
I thought
we
he
pulled
was
that
a
through into the
spy for
episode.
like that competing build group the
Forever.
entire time.
And everyone in the comments is like, no, Lucas is nice. And every time I see him, I literally would call him like blonde guy.
Nice.
Like, In episode 8, I heard a few Easter eggs. I was just wondering if you put them in for fun or for a reason.
Which ones?
It's from a different video game. Like, if you wait too long while you're standing in front of the painting of the guy with the armor that wasn't real,
Tim?
Tim, and if you wait too long, a girl says, "That stare fills me with determination."
Are you implying you might be an Undertale fan?
Yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Did you put them in for a reason?
Maybe so that people like you would notice them.
Nice.
Will Story Mode Season 2 come out ever?
Do you think there should be a story mode season 2? I mean, we're not here to make an announcement about anything like
That's
that.
a pretty good
that
focus
is
group
interesting
right there.
information for us to have.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So Soren made it, like, his name, it made an appearance. Will he come back? Like, in episodes 6 through 8, there were a couple books by Soren. Is that like an Easter egg for upcoming episodes?
Obviously, I don't know anything about upcoming episodes, but you know, Soren was a character that I really, really loved and wanted. Even though we didn't have a place to fit him into those last couple episodes, I really wanted to at least keep him in the story, just because he was so interesting and so fun that I wanted to at least have implications that he was still out there in the world.
Oh, real quick before the next question, I see Jeff Parrott in the audience. Jeff Parrott is was our lead environment artist on Minecraft Story Mode and did a lot of the amazing artwork that you guys have been looking at on these slides. Good to see you, Jeff.
Are you gonna do any more episodes with YouTubers?
Well, I think right now we can't announce any plans to do additional episodes, so we couldn't speak to whether or not there'd be YouTubers. But I have to say, the episode we did do with the YouTubers is probably my favorite, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So it's an interesting idea.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, and when the white pumpkin kind of episode there was in the intro, if you didn't do anything, then Ivor would have done everything for you. So that was just an Easter egg that I just wanted to share.
Yeah, that's something. So we have a lot of the interactions in the game in action sequences. Some of them, if you fail them, will cause you to basically die and respawn, like the "you have died" screen from Minecraft. Some of them are what we in Telltale refer to as soft fails, which are like if you miss a button press and you stumble and you trip and you do something a little embarrassing, but that doesn't quite stop your progress. So the game's usually a mix of those two things.
With that one too, Ivor is just such an incredibly fun and capable person that I know Brian, who helped make that possible.
for my thumbnail.
I think he wanted Ivor to have time to shine.
Yeah, and I think the thing there that's really fun too is there are a lot of people who do the do nothing playthroughs, and that was something we really started seeing over time. And there are YouTubers who will just do videos of nothing, but here's what happens if you do nothing. And so I think that was a great excuse for us to start sneaking those things in, like Ivor saving the day if you don't do anything.
Oh my gosh, I've lost Nathan. She's out there.
Are you gonna? Oh, that sounds like too loud. Are you gonna relive Ruben in episode 8?
Well, I would love to tell you yes, but a part of the plan with Ruben is this idea of being able to solve the big problem that's going on, and yet having a loss and things never being the same from that point. So like Like in Lord of the Rings, when Sam and Frodo return to the Shire, it's not the same as when they left, and it never will be. And you know, I have a history of not treating pigs particularly well in the game. I've seen a lot of pork chops, and we set out to basically do something that's going to have an emotional impact that matters to Jesse and to players. That's real loss, but in the face of overcoming this terrible obstacle. So I can tell you that from very early on, we knew that that things weren't going to go particularly well for Ruben, and that he was not coming back.
Was there ever any talk of giving Jesse another pet, or was it just like she's just, or he or she is sad for Ruben?
Are you trying to replace Ruben?
Well, and so
Listen, I wanted a wolf, okay?
Well, actually, it's actually something that's really funny is you guys represent the two camps of. I remember watching videos where Jordan. There'd be videos where like an animal would show up and you'd be like, you're not trying to get me to replace Ruben, are you? And then Stacy on the flip side would see that same animal and be like, is this going to be my new pet? Is this going to be my replacement pet? And so it was really funny how anytime an animal would appear on screen, there'd be the two camps of replacement, you better not be trying to replace Ruben.
It wouldn't replace Ruben.
Sounds like that's what you're going for, honestly.
Wow.
Do you want a wolf? Is that what it is, Stacey?
I wanted a wolf.
Yeah, and then the wolf will probably eat Ruben. You can't do that.
Ruben's already gone.
Way to remind me.
There's always like one set person to be the murderer every time you play, but did you ever consider making like one of the YouTubers the murderer? Like perhaps Sparkles killed everyone in the original draft.
I can tell you it has definitely been a topic of conversation, and the main reason we steered clear of that is we wanted players to be able to piece together the evidence that built to a particular culprit, and not to have that character be interchangeable. Like Cassie Rose and Sparkles do not like live in the same space. They don't have the same role, and to basically devise a series of clues in an episode that builds to almost anyone as the killer, it would be a separate development, almost like a different story to be told for each of those. So that's one of the reasons we stuck with one.
Although it was really funny, Lizzie, LD Shadow Lady, the entire time we're in the booth, she was like, have you considered making me the murderer? I could be the murderer. And we were like, no, we've already got a murderer, Lizzie. She wanted to be the murderer so bad.
I didn't know that.
Speaking of LD Shadow Lady, if you all haven't seen her Let's Play of episode 6, there's a point at which she's watching herself, LD Shadow Lady character, fighting a spider, and thinks, she's got this, she's fine, I'm going to fight the white pumpkin. And when she sees that spider take out herself, her mouth is open for a good 5 to 8 seconds while she's watching. It's my favorite playthrough moment of the episode.
Do you know if Mojang is ever going to add like the Minecraft bosses from Minecraft Story Mode, like the Wither Storm or the White Pumpkin, to vanilla Minecraft?
I can say we don't know of any plans for that.
That'd be super cool, though.
I will say though, there's an Xbox, on Xbox there's a story mode skin pack. It does not include the white pumpkin, but there are definitely story mode characters available for play in Minecraft.
I wondered for the longest time if they were going to make command blocks craftable, because I was like paying attention to the recipe in the videos and everything. It was like, okay, block of emerald and redstone. And
We try to stay as close to the rules as possible, but we had to fudge a little on that one because that's not a thing in survival mode.
Like when you're talking about staying close to Minecraft rules, like how much do you let that kind of make the story? Do you kind of feel restricted by that, or is it kind of fun? And when do you just choose to ignore it just to tell the story?
Well, that's a great question. And we always try to be, as we call it, legal. We try to stay legal. And that is 100% of the time our goal. Sometimes we do fudge it a little bit, and we always talk to Mojang about it. But we usually try to find a way in which, even if it is not strictly legal, it is something you could make. One of the great examples I cite is in episode 2, we have this mech that wanders off into the ocean. And technically, we struggled with how to make that mech work. But Eric, who did you say it was? It was.
Yeah, so something that's really funny is in episode 2, there's this giant walking robot, this giant mech, and we've been really inspired by, there's an amazing YouTuber who goes by the name of Cube Hamster, makes these amazing slime block mechs, and so we were inspired by that to make our own mech, and what was really funny is we really tried to make it work, and in the end, what the version that went in there almost, but didn't quite work, and then Cube Hamster actually put up a YouTube video like 2 days later being like, guys, here's how you would have made it work.
It took us to school.
Yeah.
So the short answer is we always really try, but we admit it when we go wrong.
But there are definitely some aspects of Minecraft, though, that we had to start from a place of knowing we wouldn't be sticking with. Like, for example, your ability to just punch your way out of any situation. We did things like starting with a presumption that obsidian is indestructible, and that's not actually the case. But unless you have a diamond pickaxe in Minecraft story mode, it is an obstacle you can't overcome, and some rules like that aren't quite, by the book, but for storytelling, we needed some ability to kind of restrict the freedom that Minecraft allows.
Okay, I was wondering how CaptainSparklez' character was able to traverse the great beyond and reappear at the end of the episode with the white pumpkin.
Oh, I love that question.
Well, I mean, in the last... in the last episode, they did explain that you don't die. You actually just respawn. Now, it's all a bit of a blur in my head as to where I respawned at after I suffocated in the sand. But slowly but surely, I worked my way through that portal network, and then I made it just in time to be able to talk during the end credits scene. So that's how it happened.
And it is, we bring them back in a way that we consciously don't fully explain, just to not put a final note on the presence of CaptainSparklez in the story mode universe. That's part of it.
And I like to kind of imagine that Sparklez is kind of now forever wandering the portal network, just telling people his story and about how he got crushed by sand. Sorry, Jordan.
That's okay, I forgive you.
All right, so this one's for CaptainSparklez. Do you think you'll ever play through it again with different decisions?
If I could figure out a way to differentiate it enough, then possibly, but I know that my death is inevitable. So I don't know how much I would be able to change, but I'll investigate it.
For the YouTubers, what was the weirdest part of seeing yourself in the story mode?
The greatest part of seeing ourselves?
Weirdest or greatest? Did you say the greatest was that? Sorry, is that weirdest? Weirdest. I think the weirdest thing is just when the voice comes out, because we all played through it while doing a Let's Play, so we're there going, hello, okay, I'm going through, and then someone walks in and goes, oh, hi there, I'm like, whoa, like I'm just talking to myself, it's just the same voice kind of back and forth, so that was kind of a strange moment.
For me, it was really funny to actually see myself do more motions than a Minecraft character does. Because in Minecraft, I mean, you can nod your head and you can wave and punch and run, but you can't actually, like, you don't have facial expressions ever. So it was really fun to see those actually happen. And when I was recording, I actually would like move around like a lot in the booth to try to like make it sound really animated.
Weirdest part, either just the fact that, like Stampy said, I was talking to myself back and forth in the game, or just watching yourself die is a little bit weird, so we can go with either one of those.
Hey, is there any possible way that you could have a secret... Hello, I'm over here. Is there any possible way that you guys could have a secret episode, like saying, oh, follow those people who followed, spoilers, who followed, what you called at the end? The very last episode.
Oh, following Ivor at the end.
Yes. Is there any way, like, all of a sudden, let him be, and then like a tiny little recap of like going through the village or following him through the portal network?
I think we wanted to close 8 on, you know, potentially alluding to further adventure, but really having 8 stand as a capper on a 5-season, a 5-episode season arc plus the 3 Adventure Pass episodes. We wanted to kind of close the story. Jesse and company have, well, big spoilers, have made it home. Their friends are there. It's largely resolved, but Ivor running off is kind of an implication that the adventure doesn't stop. So,
what happens when you do follow him? Because I didn't, so I want to know what does happen.
Oh, there's an easy way to find that out. It's pretty much at the end of the episode, so you can imagine it's not the kickoff of a chasing Ivor adventure. It's more like,
Does he go back to Harper? Who shipped Ivor and Harper?
She's just very intriguing.
No, the Ivor Harper arc was fun.
Why did you choose the YouTubers in the episode with the white pumpkin?
I didn't catch that.
Why did you
Why
did you choose the YouTubers that were used in episode 6?
I think, well, definitely a part of it was for myself personally, I have a 10 and a 12-year-old in my house, and there are a lot of YouTube videos playing on a close to constant basis, so there was a lot of familiarity on my part, but also, getting a mix of people from Europe and from the United States, and guys and girls, and also a part of it was, within the studio, a part of our process is to take the voices of the people we're casting and make sure they play well against each other, because sometimes you'll have a couple of people that you're interested in working with, and they'll be in such a similar tonal space that it can be confusing when they're not shown on screen and the voice is coming out. So with our mix of YouTubers that we ended up working with, it was a really great variety and people we were really excited about, and some very different personalities that we were thrilled to bring to the game.
Also, episode 6 is a murder mystery, which is a lot of fun, but it's way more fun to suspect people that you like and are interested by, but having an influx of new people was a really fun opportunity. So we figured you wouldn't suspect your friends of murder, but we thought you'd all really enjoy the opportunity to interrogate some of the people you enjoy watching. So.
All right, this question is for the development team. Is there any reason as to why the Wither story arc lasted for 4 episodes instead of the usual 5?
Yes, there is. So we intended from the get-go to tell the story of this, this group of kids in their treehouse who need to kind of rise to the occasion and deal with this problem that threatens their whole world. And the idea is that by the time they've reached the end of the 4th episode, they have become this new Order of the Stone. We wanted to cap that off with a 5th episode with them in that role as the heroes they've become over the first 5. So it's basically, there is a 4-episode story arc in dealing with the Wither Storm, but in terms of the development of that group into a group of heroes, it's really 5 is the first opportunity you have to kind of to play with them in that role.
If you have season 2, do you have any plan of having Cassie Rose return?
So I can tell you that we've had a lot of fun with Cassie Rose, but that we're not announcing any plans about a 2nd season. So there's not a whole lot I can say on that.
And unless she's been down there eating silverfish, or was it endermites, or
both are
endermites?
delicious.
Are those edible?
Are you saying she's dead?
No, I'm just saying that she's had to get resourceful.
What
I'm not gonna talk
happened to Gabriel and / or Magnus and Ellegaard?
Yeah, it's funny. They were characters. They didn't fit into the Portal story arc, but in my mind, they after the Wither Storm, they are probably traveling and helping to rebuild places. Magnus and Ellegaard, they had their own homes to go back to, and Gabriel has always been kind of a little bit of a wanderer and helper of people. So that's kind of how I always imagined where they were.
Is there going to be an episode 9?
I think that would be under the will there be a season 2 questions, which I think we have some interesting information from you guys. I suspect there's an appetite for an episode 9, but it's not something I can speak to. But I do love that question.
Did you guys get a kick out of the fact that Endermen were on the backpacks here at MineCon? It's kind of like EnderCon.
So good. Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
This is a question for everybody. What was your favorite YouTuber death from episode 6?
Oh, I like that.
No pressure.
So I'll give you a fake answer and then a correct answer. So my fake answer is I've always loved how Torque Dog goes out because it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But he's not actually a YouTuber, so that's not for real. But my favorite death has got to be, and this isn't just because of how it plays out in the game, but this is because of LD Shadow Lady's response in her Let's Play. It's got to be when she got taken out by the spiders, which isn't something that has to happen. That's one of the things in the game that may or may not happen based on how you play. But her reaction, she was so shocked and just did not see it coming. I found that hilarious.
I actually, for similar reasons, when we were in the booth, with Dan TDM, when we got to the part in the script where he died, his reaction was astounded because he just couldn't believe that he was recording a death. And I remember, I think he turned to you, Joe, and he was like, "Did you die?" And you're like, "No, I didn't die." And he was like, "But I'm dying." I was like, not always. You can be saved." He was like, "Okay, I just don't want to always die." It was pretty great.
I loved Jordan's death, man.
Thank you.
I just loved it. It was the best.
Wait, are you saying you like watching me die?
I can't win. I can't win.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Okay, I have 2 questions about Espel 7 and Espel 8. Espel 7, what was that creepy guy hiding behind a pillar and kept on popping out? But each time once you came closer, he went behind the pillar.
Is that 7 or 5?
Honestly, I think it's 5.
Yeah, I think so.
Want to talk about the creepy guy?
Well, I didn't put the creepy guy in, but I know who did, and they were having a lot of fun. I think when you wander around a space in one of our games, one of the biggest challenges is we try to make the area feel really alive. And for those of you who played episode 5, where you go to the Sky City, there's an underground subversive element at play in the town with Milo and his friends. And I believe that was a seed towards them. That was kind of a nod that not all was as you expected it to be. But actually, that little guy is like one of my favorite parts of episode 5. So I'm glad you noticed him.
Hi, Mom. Anyway, so when you create any of your new monsters, how long does it take for that, though? Like the first season with that Wither monster, how long did it take for that?
To do which part?
I'm sorry, was the question, how long did it take to come up with them?
To create it.
Like to create it.
Yeah, so actually, let me see if we can pull up here on the screen. We've actually got some really fun concept art of when the Witherstorm was first being developed. Because for season 1, we knew that we wanted to do a really cool version of the Wither. And is that? Oh, no, it's not up there yet.
It's down there.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, it's in front of us. They can
Okay.
see it. Yeah. It's on the TV right in front of us. It's fine.
It's up now.
Oh, there you go. But that was one that we spent a good bit of time on because we knew we didn't want to do like a giant man or a bipedal or even a quadruped. We wanted something weird and otherworldly and almost to give it a tentacled horror kind of quality. And so that one took a lot of concept work to come up with something that still felt like it was made of blocks and rooted in Minecraft, and had elements of the Wither that showed through, but still could destroy much more than the standard Wither ever could. The other monsters in game, I think, are a little more along our normal pipeline of creating characters and rigging them for animation, and that process for us ended up being pretty quick. but the Wither Storm was quite an undertaking.
Is it easier or harder animating kind of things like spiders when they're blocky compared to other Telltale games where it might be slightly more realistic?
Oh, that's a great question, and I think with the spiders, it's probably similar, but when it comes to character performance, a lot of what we do at Telltale has to do with storytelling and convincing performances from these actors. And by its nature, Minecraft is low fidelity, which is one of the great things about it, because you can do a lot with little detail. But it really took a lot of work for our character artists, our animators, our cinematic artists to really get convincing emotional performance out of such low poly characters.
Yes, I was wondering if there is a limit to the power of the Atlas.
A limit?
It's interesting. The Atlas was one of those mysterious items that kind of like the command block was something where a lot of the rules, we kind of determined that our characters probably couldn't comprehend all of those rules, and so there definitely are some kind of fuzzy edges. The idea behind the Atlas is it's something that I think the way Harper describes it is it's a map/compass/navigator, and it's essentially a way you can tell the Atlas where you want to go, and it can point you towards that portal. So yes, I guess it's kind of limitless, maybe-ish.
It was, I think, episode 5 with the Portal Network, when Jesse and the gang first found the Portal Network. The portal that they went to, it did not lead to the Portal Network like all the other portals do in the game. Like, if you find a portal in a normal world, then it leads to the Portal Network. But that one portal leads to a different world.
That is
Why is that?
Absolutely true. For narrative purposes, part of the reason is we wanted to fling you right into the adventure, but it is definitely something, we acknowledge that portal in Jesse's homeworld isn't of the same stuff as what the builders have in the portal hallway.
Was Cassie based on anyone?
So Cassie wasn't based on anyone in particular. Her voice actress was Ashley Birch, who was just wonderful, and then she did a really great job. And so working with her as an actress helped kind of inform the personality a little bit. Her name, though, was actually based on my sister. My sister's name is Cassie Rose, and her dog is named Winslow. So she was. Cassie Rose in story mode has it.
So you made your sister a murderer? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't make my sister. My sister's not a murderer. I should make that very clear. I'm going to give the mic to someone else now.
Is your sister aware of this?
Yes, no. So it was really funny. We went through a lot of stuff trying to figure out how to name Cassie Rose because obviously we needed to name her in a way that wouldn't stand out immediately. And so we were going through all these different names, and I put Cassie Rose on a list, and I just kind of threw that one on there. And then that was one that started to get traction, and it looked like that was the name we were going to go with. And so actually, I texted my sister. I was like, "Are you okay if I name a blocky murderer after you?" And and she texted me back. She's like, "I don't understand you, but sure."
It's interesting. Visually, though, the Cassie Rose character looks a whole lot like someone who works at Telltale who happened to spawn 3 withers on the Telltale server. So not a direct reference to Shannon, but there are some similarities there.
Wait, is there a Telltale server that you guys play on?
Did I say that? No.
I want to know about that.
Well,
wait, tell her where you built your house.
Okay, so my house is actually built under his house because that we have this big Telltale server. We're actually Jeff Parrott, the guy we shouted out before who wouldn't stand up. So Jeff and the art team actually on this server would make all of these sorts of half experimental versions of the sets and the environments and the puzzles and things like that. And so you go on the server and it's just full of all of these half finished versions of things that went in the final game. And then other people like me that would go on there just kind of mess around. We all sort of have our houses. Now Kevin, since he's the boss person, has a huge castle, and so we were running out of space and I couldn't figure out where to put my house, so I just went into his basement and I put my own little house down there.
I feel like there's a metaphor there, but I don't know exactly what it is.
I wouldn't read into it too much.
So for designing the sets for story mode, then is that kind of the process? Do you kind of draw it, then build it in Minecraft, and then kind of take it into your engine?
I'd say that's true for a lot of it, and some of it, we took advantage of the fact that we had a lot of Minecraft enthusiasts, like Jeff over here on the team, who would sometimes build out in Minecraft to kind of prove the legality of something complex, or sometimes build something out in Minecraft and export those assets and bring them into the Telltale tool as a basis for some of the environments. So it's a bit of both.
I will tell you though, the art team is really fun to work with, and the joy that they experience when they find a new way to use a piston or a flower pot to make a piece of furniture, like they have cracked the code in terms of set dressing, and it's really fun to watch that creativity, when they find how to make something new. So they're really cool guys.
All right, guys. Sorry, I think we're running out of time. I just wanted to let you know we have time for probably 3 more questions, so make them good ones.
What was the saddest moment in Minecraft story mode?
Easily.
Ruben.
Ruben!
Sorry, CaptainSparklez, not.
Oh no, I don't.
Not many people looking at you.
It's absolutely Ruben, not me. No one cried for me.
Why did you kill off Jordan, and how much did you enjoy it?
So the main reason we killed off Jordan is because it really set the stakes. It seemed like the last thing we would do, and we really wanted to shock people because it seemed like everything was building up to a murder mystery with Jordan as a partner, and we did that intentionally to basically to establish that nobody's safe. When Torque Dog dies, he dies and it's bad, but it's Torque Dog and nobody likes Torque Dog, and we set him up for that purpose. But everybody loves Sparkles, so we wanted it to be, that's when things get real. That's when, oh my goodness, we have a problem we need to solve here. Oh, I think there's someone on the mic.
Will there ever be a way to customize what animal Ruben is?
No, Ruben started as a pig from day one when we were breaking story using little cards on windows in the office there with Mojang, and he's been a pig all along. And we wanted it to be specific. We wanted to be able to give the writers something they could really grab hold of and make personal to Jesse. And I feel like, unlike with the Jesse character, customizing Ruben, I think, might have watered that down, whereas with Jesse, being able to make a Jesse that looks like you and that is a boy like you or a girl like you, we felt like that would strengthen the experience, but with Ruben, it was never really a consideration.
Was there any backstory to Ruben, like how he came to be with Jesse, or like did you guys ever have anything like that?
Well, we always thought it would be cool for Jesse to have a sidekick of some kind, and everybody has a pet, and like Kevin was saying, the cool thing about having Ruben, especially being a pig, is when you're starting with a new character, you know so little, about you. A lot of the first episode is spent getting to know yourself, and the fact that Jesse is the kind of kid who has a pet pig, we felt that would tell you a lot about the kind of Jesse that you're gonna be. So.
For the YouTubers, what was your first reaction when they asked you to be in a video game that you have been playing for a long time before that?
Okay.
Take it away.
I'll jump in. So, for me, I never had ambitions necessarily to be a voice actor, but I've always been a gamer, and the idea to be a character in a game is always a dream. I'm sure it's a dream that a lot of other people, if they could be a character in a game is amazing. And then on top of that, the fact that I'm kind of pretty much playing myself and it's a Minecraft game, it was kind of like this amazing dream come true blend. So I was very excited when I found out that I had a chance to be in the game.
Yeah, I freaked out. It was an email from Lydia, and I think I read it like, what? And then I called my mom.
Yeah, I was flattered, and then I was nervous because I didn't think that I would do well at voice acting, and I was very nervous up until actually playing the game, and then I was relieved that it turned out okay. But it was an honor to have been invited. Thank you guys, really appreciate it, and thanks for having us on this panel as well.
Yeah.